Right, that's the thing here again. And in this video, I'm just gonna give my personal opinion on unconditional love and earning respect. And starting off with unconditional love, like in theory, it sounds like a nice idea, loving people unconditionally. It seems like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like, what's the problem with that? You make a nice few songs about it.
Unconditional, unconditionally, I will love you unconditionally.
Things like that. It all sounds lovey-dovey and happy-dory and hunky-dory, but I don't really believe in that idea. I don't think it's a good idea either in practice, because one of the things that I feel that get people to change and that get people to, do the right thing or, encourages them to do the right thing is the way you feel about them and the way you treat them when they do something that's wrong. And so if you have unconditional love, then where's that change gonna be? It's like you're just gonna love them all the same. They do this thing, you're like, oh no, it's all right, I still love you. You do that, it's like, oh, it's okay, I still love you. And so then they can just keep pushing boundaries and then nothing is unacceptable. And I think that's the biggest problem I have with unconditional love, is that when it comes to the negative things, there's no limit. You can just do whatever you want. And so that's the problem. You shouldn't love people unconditionally because it leads to no changes. It leads to people just, carta blanca, just do whatever they want without impunity, so to say. So I don't believe that that's a good way to go. And so definitely unconditional love is not something that I think people should be practicing. If you're talking about unconditional love in the sense that, okay, you don't have to do anything to maintain this love that we already have, I can understand, like, you have a kid or whatever and that they don't have to necessarily score high grades or things like that or do well in a sport to, for you to still love them. It's like, that's okay, that I can understand. I mean, that's something that's harmless and innocuous. If they don't meet those goals, that's fine. But I think when it comes to, unconditional love on things where what has been done has negatively impacted someone's quality of life, infringed upon their freedoms, their rights, their autonomy, and it's not even just people, it's animals as well that get infringed upon. I think at that point, then, okay, there shouldn't be any unconditional love, because now you're dealing with, some serious topics here. So I think at that point, it should switch. Your love for that person should change. Whether that's permanently or temporarily will depend on how severe, I guess, the infractions are. But I don't think that you should just have blind unconditional love regardless of the circumstance and situation. Everything needs to be looked at and assessed to determine, is this worth changing our relationship and how we feel and things like that. And then, going into the earning respect, one of the things that I never really understood was why people would always say, oh, you need to earn my respect. But at the same time, it's like, well, have I lost your respect? Like, that's the only time where I think you need to earn things, is if you've lost it. So if you lost some love from someone because of, horrible things that you did, then that's understandable. So now you need to earn it back, type of thing. And that's why it's good not to have unconditional love. But when it comes to respect, if I haven't lost your respect, then why am I doing everything over the moon and under the sun to try and earn it back? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you have two people who don't know each other, don't know what each other has done in their lives, and there had been no, interactions with these two people prior to meeting each other, but yet they both feel like the other one has to earn their respect. I'm like, what? Like, this is how you have a lot of problems with people who feel like, they're above everyone and all this stuff. And like, everyone has to do something to show their worthiness. I'm like, no, they don't. Like, that's just a horrible way to go about things. And that's how you get a lot of negative interactions, when you just deem people unworthy simply because, they haven't proved themselves. Well, have they unproved themselves? What have they done that has made them unprove themselves, And if you can't think of anything logically and justly, then, well, it's probably just you trying to be an asshole then at that point. But yeah, so that's my two, takes on unconditional love and earning respect. I think, just to summarize, unconditional love is a good idea in theory, but, in practice, there should be conditions to love when it comes to things that are, serious issues where another sentient being's, rights, freedoms, autonomy, and just overall quality of life and well-being have been unjustly infringed upon. And when it comes to earning respect, I don't think people should need to earn your respect if, they haven't lost it, And of course, losing it would then have to be assessed as well and say, okay, well, what did they lose it on? Was it something immoral? Was it something ridiculously stupid? Or is it just a trivial matter? You have to assess that and see if it's, okay, is this a valid reason to lose my respect for someone, type of thing. And then look at it from there and go from that point. But just trying to earn people's respect right off the jump and you have no idea what they've done in their lives or who they are and things like that, I think that's a bit ridiculous. People should always have a certain level of respect for everyone they meet. It shouldn't have to be like, oh, I'm up here and you're down here, now you have to earn up to my level even though I don't know you. It's like, nah, it's ridiculous. And then also, just to end off on unconditional love, people should have to earn your love if they've lost it. And they should only be losing your love because, they've done something that's either immoral or just maybe, ridiculously stupid that was possibly harmful and things like that. Sure. And then it's up to you to then decide if it's a permanent loss of love or if it's, a temporary thing where they can, like I said, earn it back up again to that same original point. But definitely unconditional love, bad idea. Just flat out bad idea. Everything should be adjusted base by base. Yeah. Or case by case, I should say, But anyway, as always, that's just my opinion. And that's the thing.
I could still be in love. I could still be